Okay, so I've been asked and requested to do a short tutorial on how I play the theme song, the opening theme song to Dynasty. Um, the tune is actually very simple. It starts with a G note in the scale of C major. There are no sharps, there are no flats. Very easy tune to play, so I'm just going to warm up a little bit and show you the chords. Predominantly, it's just C chords, F chords, G chords. And it's just pretty much repetitive towards, to the entire song. So it's really C, F, G, C, F, G, C, F, G. So practice the chords in a however natural way you like to play them. I mean, I like to use multiple chords, and then I like to continue my chords using my right hand, but some people would just prefer to play the basic notes to keep it simple. It can also have a gentle feeling to it, so you just really need to play 3 notes and make it clean, the sound of simplicity. So I'm going to play 2 versions here. The more complicated one and the more simplistic one. Notice how that gives you, a more calm feeling, and the more grandiose version would be either one sounds good to me. It's just different styles of playing. So I'm going to show you the notes to the right hand. And the left chords. Again. Just keep repeating that, until you get the feel of it. Now you put melodies together from both sides of your hands, and just let the melody play in your mind so that you know how it sounds like, and then translate that to your hands. I usually work with octaves. I have got no preset rules, which octave to use, but as long as they are within the same key, I'm fine. So I can alternate between the lower C I can go back down, or I can play the one which is one octave higher. Or I can go back to the lower C and then rise up one octave higher. I hope that didn't confuse you, but basically, you know, music is just really about creativity. So if you get the bass chords right, like C, F, G, C, you can literally just, you know, play it within whatever octaves that appeal to you. I mean, you can transpose it one octave higher and it sounds like this. So the second verse goes like, so the right hand melody is, again, and the chords are it's the same, you know, it's C, F, G, C, F, G, C, F, G. It repeats throughout the entire tune mostly. And we put two of them together. And again. So I've shown you the difference between playing the transitional chord, which is a C chord, on an octave higher and an octave lower. So there's really not much difference really. It sounds pretty much the same, it's just that it's a different octave. And we're gonna play it one more time. So with the chord progressions, as long as you know, C chord is C, A, G, C, you can skip, you know, the E and play it as C, G, C, and replace the E, G, and C. You know, you can play alternate chords, meaning you don't play the E, but you replace the E here and you progress it through the two octaves. Likewise. So here goes. So in terms of the coordination of the music, you'll need to feel into that. I mean, your hands will have to coordinate in terms of the tune. So if it means that you have to play slower to get, you know, the rhythm, then play slow first and then pick up the speed. So now we come to the third phrase, which is the, it's building up to the climax of the song. And it goes like this. It's just basically a repetition of 2 to 4 bars. So I'm going to show you the right hand first, which is, actually this is the more complicated version. The more simple version would be just a few notes, which is, so, we kept it really, really simple. It's a bit complicated, but just follow me through. I'm just going to play that again slowly. Okay, so we're going to learn the easy version first. The chords that correspond with the right would be, substitute the last note, but when you're playing the melody together, you can do that as well. But if you're busy with the right hand, then you probably have to use your left thumb to kind of, your fingers to pull you through to the transition. So we have a C chord. No, we have a D chord, sorry. It's going down to a little bit like a C minor. I add in additional notes to the right hand, which sounds like this. It's literally an additional A note on the upper register. So it sounds, not so monotonous. There's some variation to that. It's just the timing between the notes. So you have to time it like pretty quick because your left hand is also moving at the same time. So the additional note would be A for the first bar. And the second bar would be G and E, and it's actually D. So it's basically the bass chord but played on the higher register. So I'm going to do that again. Practice that a little bit more to get the hang of it. Otherwise, you can stick to the simple version, which is which doesn't sound too bad. I mean, it's got a very melancholic feel to it. Yeah, so it really depends how you play it. Would just be really a repetition of the first, the first 4 bars. Just played 1 octave higher. Really depends how you want to play it, how you want it to sound. I mean, you can go back to the original octave. So towards the end, you might want to move it 1 octave higher to indicate kind of like the apex of the ending of the the tune. So I'm just going to play back to the original tune, and then we're going to move it up an octave higher. Fifths to play the melody, or sixths. So they're 6 notes apart, but you maintain the original melody, but add in the 6th note. chords progression all in one hand. It has an almost chime sound, like a wind chime, a chime of sorts. When you play that, it's very celestial wind chime, like something that you hear from church bells tolling. So again, there are no hard and fast rules in playing music. I've always felt that it shouldn't be too rigid. It should be like flexible, and you should just use your own creativity in creating the music that you want. So I'm just gonna play that again. The chords are basically the same from the earlier session on the C, F, and G. If you want the song to continue a bit longer, go back to the original third and fourth bar. So it's really important for this part, if you want the tinkling sound, to actually practice, your hands, your fingers. Maybe about like 5 to 10 minutes. You might drive your neighbors like crazy, but practice makes perfect. So even I get it wrong sometimes. If you learn traditional music, they'll tell you, oh, your finger is wrong, you shouldn't be playing it that way, but I don't know, anything that works. As long as you get the melody true, it doesn't matter whether you play with your fourth finger, your second finger, your little toe, your little thumb, even even if you want to use a pencil just to make the sound. But of course, the pressure on the keyboards, to me, it's really, that's my dog. Anyway, just ignore that sound. The pressure on the keys are actually really important to me. It's not just banging or tickling the keys. You kind of have to feel the music. So for example, merely just banging on the piano would be, that's like banging on the piano without much feeling, as opposed to really feeling the music at the tip of your fingers, which is feelings are like really individual. So tune into the feeling you're feeling of playing the piano, which is translated to your fingers. So I'm going to just play one last round of the tune, and then I'm going to call it a day. my version. And I mean, of course, I add in the pedaling. Some people don't really quite like the, too much vibrato, but I like it to sound a little ethereal, so I push, my pedals quite down all the way. But really, it's up to you how much pressure you want to put on in terms of the pedal. Play around with the tune, experiment with it, and if you have any videos you've made playing the tune, just put them up on YouTube. I'll be glad to hear, and yeah, I'll be really happy to know that you've actually picked up this song through this tutorial. So thank you very much, and thanks for watching.